One of the things that I have seen, Mike Lincoln, is uh, a lot of functionality. For example, like the timesheet and expense management functionality is natively available in FNO, but owing to different situations, customers may either find the functionality too complex or more than what they need. And I think this is where Power Apps really becomes powerful. Customers can actually build solutions that's very specific to their secret sauce or their specific needs. So I know we've done some of these use cases around timesheet, expense entry, and a number of different other mobile applications. Mike, did you want to touch on some of them? I know
Yeah,
you're currently working on some exciting ones right now.
yeah. We have some like kind of a field service, very unique situation. Came from a paper-based system. Leveraged the Power Apps again. This Power Apps technology is super exciting in the fact that we leverage the existing tables essentially that are there in the Dataverse that like sales and customer service, field service already uses as a platform, and so we are able to leverage functionality that's already there. So it's not like you're building a completely custom app from the ground up. We can leverage functionality that's already there in the Dataverse that like sales and field service already has available that we can borrow from there. Um, so and then with this being able to mobile use iPads, iPhones, tailor it. The exciting thing is being able, like this field service situation, be able to tailor to the end user, their user experience out there. So especially when you talk about field service in general, those people out in the field, that's going to make or break your project. It's not the success of its implementation. It's not going to be the back end office people um, that are in the office using the big application. It's the ones out there, in the delivery van or out there in the work truck, out in the field. If it's not easy to use, uh, pretty much foolproof, quick, reliable, it's not going to be adopted, and that's where the Power Out really comes into play. There is being able to just customize that user experience to them. Go ahead, Lincoln. You're on mute again.
Sorry about that. One day I'll learn, Mike. But anyway, I was going to say there's a real cost savings element to this as well, and depending on the numbers, because sometimes once you get beyond the development cost, and as Mike is saying, it's getting less and less in terms of its kind of plug and play ability. But often what we find is if the users just need to interact with the system through an application like this, it could be really cost effective, in terms of, say, comparing Dynamics 365 licenses over to Power Apps licenses. So often that's a great motivator for organizations to adopt this technology. And you can really customize that application to your very specific requirements. So like Mike was mentioning, we have a lot of companies that we work with that do this exact same thing. And certainly, I would say that it does have a very large cost impact to the organization when it's done successfully. Thank you, Albert.
Perfect. One of the other examples, Lincoln, I don't know whether you want to touch on this, but the vendor onboarding and self-service portal, this again goes back to the fact that FNO does have a lot of the supplier management self-service type of capability. But the reality is that it's a lot. It's best of breed. It has a lot in it, and it's not always a great fit for customers who may want something a little bit more simpler and something a little bit more specific to their user needs and adoption. Like Mike said, there is a factor of complexity in some of these solutions, and Power Apps simplifies that greatly, right? Did you want to add anything to that, Lincoln?
Yeah, absolutely. In terms of how companies effectively leverage the system, and often they're able to use these tools like Power Pages to connect with their client base, with their supplier base, and sometimes we work with organizations that have a very small employee base that can can leverage, to tens, hundreds to thousands to hundreds of thousands of members, of clients. So I would just say these tools, if you're not using them, when they're done effectively, you can really leverage, especially in smaller organizations that can really impact, especially if your customer base is, multinational, if your supplier base is all over the world. It's a really effective tool to kind of, bring that supply chain directly in your client base, your customer base, your membership base into your system, and where you can collect that information. And that's where the real gold in these systems is, that data that you're collecting through all those often, thousands, tens of thousands of clients, members, suppliers you're interacting with.
We could probably this probably deserves another couple of hours on its own.
Yeah.
There are so many use cases, but
Indeed.
we thought we'd highlight the ones that we are most familiar with or that we are helping customers with.